1 out of 5 U.S. adults and 1 out of 6 U.S. youth experience mental illness every year, according to the National Alliance on Mental Illness. With these numbers, it's no surprise we all need support sometimes. I spoke with Joni Hodney to get the facts on Minnesota's 988 Crisis Lifeline.
I'm Joni Hodney. I am the director at Minneapolis 911. So 988 has taken place of other crisis numbers that there are to call. For example, you've probably heard of the suicide prevention line before. So if someone is having suicidal ideations or other mental health crisis, they can dial 988 and get a counselor on the phone to talk to. If anybody has any weapons, if they've already injured themselves, or if there is an imminent risk of them injuring themselves or others, you're going to want to call 911 for a response. Absolutely call either one of the numbers, 988 if you're having a moment where you're not sure and you're having kind of a crisis, 911. Either way, all of us are trained professionals to be able to help sort out what type of services we can provide for you and what kind of services might be best suited in your moment.
Now that we've learned about 988 and its differences to 911, I caught up with Brian Smith to learn about Behavior Crisis Response, or BCR.
A lot of people somehow have a misconception that this was developed as part of a response to George Floyd being killed, but the work had begun a year prior. So call is made to 911 if it's determined to be a behavioral health call or a mental health call. Anything that's a behavior that's not a criminal behavior, they'll respond to. And all of this is dispatched through 911. So there's not a direct call to BCR from residents. Nobody's armed. It's completely unarmed. There's a distinction that says Canopy Mental Health and the city of Minneapolis. The vans are labeled the same. So for example, I may be loud, disruptive, seems like something may be irritating me or something's just not right, but I'm not, breaking windows out, I'm not hitting people, I'm not doing anything like that. But clearly there needs to be some sort of intervention. Our 911 staff are highly trained in triaging the situation, and they make the determination as to whether the call that the BCR is being put on is a dangerous environment or not. And if it is, they won't send BCR. Only voluntary, so there's no involuntary rides to a hospital or places like that. But if a person needs to go pick up meds, or if a person feels safe, like I need to be at my aunt's house, my mom, my dad, grandparents, something like that, and if they feel safe there, we'll volunteer and give them a ride there. But the whole process and all the services are voluntary. We don't force anything on anyone. This model was built with a majority of input from residents. This is the model that residents said they wanted to see. They absolutely love the behavioral crisis response teams. Even those people who were reluctant in the beginning, like, oh, you can't send social workers or mental health workers to these calls, it's too dangerous, the next door type of things. They see it as wildly successful because they've seen the BCR team members do their work. They've seen how they interact with the public, they've seen how they interact with the person who may end up being the person needing the service, and they absolutely love it.